right, welcome back, everybody. We wanted to today kind of take a look at Turbo. It's been pumping recently, and I'm sure everybody wants to know why. We have noticed that there's been a lot of price action. We've noticed a lot of inflows. So let's come over and take a look at the chart. And we have gotten a really nice pump here lately. What do you guys think about the move?
I think it's looking good. I am obviously and we'll talk about this a little bit later. You know, we're adding more central exchange listings. Turbo is continuing to grow, get more volume, get more exposure. So I think that's the result of that.
Yeah, I think people took notice on the number 3 wallet holder of Turbo. This is a brand new holder that came in and bought 47 million. So it doesn't show who the exchange is, but I mean, it's pretty obvious it's an exchange buying that much. So yeah. I think that's where the pump really came in. People are speculating on what exchange it might be.
Yeah, this wallet came out of nowhere, and it's like they just bought $47 million at once. That's definitely not a retail buyer. Before the video started, we did a little bit of a deep dive on that wallet address. And to us, it looks like an exchange. It makes all the same moves that the other exchanges seem to be making. You can see a lot of activity in and out. So I think it's an exchange. Who do you guys think it could be?
That wallet is the number 38 holder of PEPE also. So it's got to be, my guess would be Kraken or Binance is one of those wallets. But who knows? That's my guess.
Yeah, I think Kraken is a good option. Obviously Binance would be awesome, but and usually what we've seen in the past is those kind of follow suit with one another. You'll see Kraken, you'll see Binance, or vice versa. So I think either one is good.
Yeah. I know Turbo did an AMA with Binance, so they do have at least some sort of relationship with Binance already. Are they listed on futures? Do you know?
They are listed on
futures, so usually that's the first step. So that's a good sign. I don't think this is Binance just yet. I also think probably a Kraken or another kind of lower down on the A tier exchange list is kind of what I'm thinking. Kraken would be pretty much in line with what we're seeing.
Yeah, Turbo gets about 100 million in trading volume a day. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So if you were a exchange, man, you would be chomping at the bit to get in on that. So with that much volume, I think it's only looking good for Turbo in the future.
Yeah, it's crazy not to get in on that when they could make so much money from retail buyers coming in. Especially, it's like adding exchanges. It just draws attention to it. They're going to get all the fees from people trading Turbo. It seems like just a win-win.
Yeah.
So also, everybody is hearing about the big news. Ethereum's ETF got listed today. Mm-hmm. So the trading's live on Ethereum. And I think that's great for all altcoins. It's going to boost everything, especially Ethereum tokens.
Yeah, everybody knew this was coming, so they packed their bags about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we saw the big jump from 2,900 to 3,500 on Ethereum. So everybody front ran the Ethereum spot ETF. So not a whole lot of action so far today, and it was kind of foreseeable that this wasn't going to boost everything right when it dropped, but it's soon to come.
Yeah. What do y'all think on price action? Do you think this is going to propel it up, or do you think it will kind of chop down maybe and then come back up, or what do you guys think we'll see?
With Ethereum, it's got different fundamentals than Bitcoin. They switched several years ago to proof of stake, so there's a lot more insider allocations, things like that. So it's really hard to say. All I'll say about the ETF is that I think it's a positive thing for the future. I don't think that we're going to see any significant price action in the short term. More than likely, but who knows? Ethereum is a little bit different than Bitcoin in that regard of the fundamentals. So I think it's a good thing, but we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah. Ethereum has the narrative that they're burning tokens now, which should make it deflationary if buying pressure increases. But it recently just switched back to being inflationary, so it heavily depends on market conditions. When people are buying, that's when it gets deflationary. So when we see everybody rush in to fill their bags for this ETF, we could see it switch back deflationary, which would be great for everybody. But personally, I think what we'll see is either a small retracement from people selling this news, or it could just be kind of sideways for a while. And if we look back at what happened with Bitcoin after the ETF dropped, it was very lackluster on the launch. Everybody was waiting for that blast off, and it had a delayed response on that. And it took a couple weeks to really get going, pick up the steam. So I could see something like that. But again, who knows? We're further along in the cycle. That's been like a quarter ago. No, more than a quarter ago at this point. So it could be completely different. Plus, we've got the Bitcoin conference going on right now, which is going to bring more attention in. And this is the fresh topic on everybody's mind. So
the grayscale selling that happened with Bitcoin ETF, I'm sure there's going to be some of that going on to kind of suppress, if that's how you want to look at it, or keep the price stable, whatever, however you want to look at that. But I would say, I think Grayscale, they own a truckload of Ethereum as well. So I don't know if they'll be a player in that and do the same thing they do with Bitcoin, which I have to see.
Yeah, it seems like it's their kind of style to just dump on the market for a while.
Yeah, there's big speculation about what the next ETF is going to be, and from what I'm hearing, Solana's the obvious contender, and the price action on Solana has been pumping lately. I think people are preparing for the Solana ETF. A lot of people think it's coming before Q4 of 2024.
Yeah, that seems like the obvious next ETF. Very likely to be this cycle, but even if it's next cycle, it's coming. We've talked about in the past, one day all tokens will kind of, it'll be on the stock market, and you just invest in top 10, top 100, top 50, whatever it may be. So these things are coming. The SEC's been losing their cases, and it's really shaping up good for us as investors, because we see what's coming. We know one day everybody's going to have access to this stuff. Also, I think it's good to compare Turbo to PEPE to kind of see what PEPE did in comparison to what Turbo could do. So if we jump over to the PEPE chart, and we're on a market cap here, so this explosive move up, I think this happened because of a Robinhood listing, right? Is that what happened? And Binance?
Yeah, both, I think.
Yeah, so it got a couple listings at once. And if we go back, shortly before that, let's see, it started to take off in late February. So even if we just go back to early February, we're at a $380-ish million market cap, which is oddly familiar here. So if we look at what Turbo, it's like, if you get in early on Turbo, it's like it's had its run. How much further can it go? This is how far that it can go. So, if you got in here, this is what could be ahead of Turbo, which is awesome to see.
So on that first pump, that's a 10x, and then the all-time high would be, go to the all-time high.
Right here is the 10x, somewhere in here. All-time high was $7 billion.
So that'd be a 23x if that happened to Turbo.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows at the peak of the bull run.
Oh, yeah, we're here for it. What are you guys planning on DCAing out or selling, trying to time the top? What's kind of your plan?
Well, for one, I just want to say I think Turbo is the best meme coin this cycle. Narrative-wise, a lot of people say, well, it's not really AI. That's not really the point. It gets lumped up into AI in the conversation, obviously, in the talks in the meme coin, so it gets just more exposure that way. And narrative is really all a meme coin has. It's all about narrative. And sending this token to the moon is a pretty sweet narrative. I like it. So as far as strategy, I'll plan on probably rolling quite a bit of my profits into Caspa. Probably roll that into Caspa. But yeah, I think my first target is around 10 cents. I think that Turbo will definitely hit that. Um, Maybe not with ease, but I think it'll get there. If the listings go in a positive way over the next couple weeks, we could see that in the near future. And timing wise, if it happens soon, then I'll probably put a lot of that profit back into Caspa and then ride it out. So that's kind of my strategy.
And 10 cents, where does that put it market cap wise?
6 billion, 5 to 6. So a little bit.
So lower than Pepe's all time high even, and we haven't even started. So like that's got to happen, right?
I think so.
If the listings come, it's happening.
Yeah,
It's all depending on the bigger players in the game listing it.
Yeah.
Which with the volume and the hype around it, I mean, if I'm working on the Binance team, I'm looking at Turbo to add.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like you said, narrative is what they have, and community as well. And Turbo's got a great community. So I think if anybody can kind of push this thing forward, we can do it. The Turbo Army. So yeah, I think we've got a long way to go from here.
So yeah, I mean we've seen a lot of good, a lot of positive price action with Turbo, and again we want to just remind everybody, as far as when you're looking at meme coins, look at the exchange listings, look at the markets that it's in. Looking back on Turbo, when it was 30 million market cap and it still had all the listings it has now, for the most part, it had so many listings. And looking back, it's like, man, I wish I would have went way more heavy in Turbo, because you kind of know that's going to happen with the exposure that it gets. So I just want to remind everybody to look at that. Let us know your thoughts on Turbo. Are you a holder? What's your plan? Where do you think it can go? Do you think it's the best meme coin this cycle? Just let us know what you think about Turbo as well. We like Turbo. We hold Turbo. We think Turbo, in my opinion, it's a blue chip. So let us know what you think.
And just a reminder, this is not financial advice. Everything could go to zero, but that's not what I'm thinking.
We are dabbling in meme coins, so keep that in mind. Don't invest more than you're willing to lose. It could all go to zero. But tell us what you think. Tell us your price targets. Tell us where you plan to exit, and we'll see you on the moon.